Hello there and welcome back. Welcome back to our launch hour, a brand new one-day special. It's always an exciting time, even more so when I'm working with this lovely lady for the first time. And we go way back, don't we?
We certainly do.
Too many years to mention the quantity. And it's lovely to be working with you and working with a relatively new, well, it's a new name to me, but relatively new name to us here at Hochanda as well. And we're talking FMM Funcraft. Now, tell us a little bit about the company, mainly for my purposes as much as anything, because it's a family business.
It is a family business. They originated in 1948 and they began creating cutters for the sugarcraft market.
Oh, right, okay.
And a couple of years ago, they heard about me working with clay and said, would you like to try some of our cutters with the clay rather than the sugar paste?
Okay.
So I said, yes, I'll give it a go. And I was absolutely amazed at what was happening with the clay and their cutters. So, you know, we've taken the craft from the cake area into the general crafting area, and now everyone can make these beautiful flowers.
And that's the thing that I find incredible to start with, because when you look at the finished samples that we've got here, and you use that phrase that we at home can create these, and that's the bit that I'm like, really? Can we really? And this is incredible. What have we got within our one-day special?
Okay, we've got a great bundle actually. We've got, let's start here, we've got the ivy leaf, which you've got 3 different sizes in there, including a really small one. So don't just think about home decor here, think about your card making as well, because these flowers will lend themselves perfectly to your card making as well.
And you've got these little tiny cutters. Now I'm gonna, oh dear, don't make me pick it up, because you know what's gonna happen. Now I'm just gonna pick up one of them because I don't trust myself.
That's actually, that's the medium one as well, so there is one that's smaller than that. But if you use your ball tool, and we'll talk about this as we go through the show, you can actually make these a little bit larger and soften the edges as well. But you've got 3 lovely little sizes there.
Okay, and we'll look at those in close detail in a moment. So those are your ivies. What else have we got in here?
We've got the easiest rose cutter. Now, anyone who's not seen these before will probably be thinking, how on earth do you make a rose from a cutter that looks like that?
Well, I have to say, it's not screaming out roses to me at the moment.
It's not, but you will, if you've not seen this before, you'll be amazed at how these work.
Lovely, like that one. And then as we work our way down the front, what else have we got down there? See, I told you, I did warn you.
I'll hang on to this one.
Let's try and retrieve this one.
We've got little holly leaves as well. So again, think about your card making as well as your home decor, because we've got a really small, if I just hold this one up, we've got a really small little holly leaf there, and then you've got the medium and the larger one again.
These are so dinky.
They are so cute, aren't they? Perfect size. And then you've got the rose leaves. Again, you've got, I'll grab the medium one because that'll give you an idea of the small and the large at the side of it. So you've got your rose leaf as well. So you've got that sort of serrated edge to it. And again, you can make these larger and soften the edges with your tools.
Okay.
We've got the veining mats. 4 different sizes there. The veining mats actually, not just for leaves, but also for your petals as well.
I'm going
I'll hang on to everything.
I'm on the tippiest of toes here to try and get hold of these. And these are brilliant, because I can see that you've got embossed detail on these.
They have. So, as I say, not just for your leaves, but also for your petals as well.
Wonderful. And we've got a set of 4 of those.
4 of those. And even though you've got 4 different shapes, you don't necessarily have to use them for that particular shape, leaf or flower petal.
Wonderful.
They'll lend themselves to all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And then finally, we've got the poinsettia set. And now there are 7 cutters within that one set.
These are incredible. They're good sizes. Little tiny ones right the way through to the larger ones too.
That's right. And also, if you think about poinsettias as well, if you think of the leaves of a poinsettia, they're basically the same as the petals. They're called bracts, apparently.
Oh, right.
Don't know if you knew that. But
no,
so use the same cutters for some of the larger cutters from the pack you use for the leaves as well.
Wonderful. And you are getting all of these. Now, I will hasten to add that we have got a variety of different bundles. You've probably noticed them at the bottom of your screen. Check those out if you wanted to. But the biggest saving and the best value bundle is your one-day special, £29.99 if you want to get hold of those. £11 savings. And I am going to bring in the most incredible piece here. This is beautiful. We have got the MDF bases available as well, so if you want to go and check those out, you can do. But look at these poinsettias.
There you go. And that there is obviously the focal point of the piece. The poinsettia just takes that one flower because it's such a good size. But obviously you could break that down and do smaller versions as well by not using such all the set of the petals. We've got the ivy there. Now those have actually been wired. You can wire the petals and the leaves as well.
Okay.
The petals on the poinsettia haven't been wired there. I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through the demo. But also we've got the roses here as well at the top.
Gorgeous. Look at these.
and with some what I call little filler flowers. These are just little white flowers which I think just make the colour pop, don't they, when you put that little bit of white in there as well.
Now we're talking home decor with the piece that we've just been looking at, but of course they can be transferred because they are incredibly light, these pieces.
Light. The petals, the leaves and the flowers in whole have been made with the hearty clay, which is a very lightweight clay, very strong clay as well once it's dry, and it is an air dry clay.
You'd never think. That does look like a little blue rose and a little cream rose on there. So clever. And then I'm going to bring in another piece as well. I'm going to need 2 hands for this one. I'm not even going to risk it. Look at this. Catherine, this is gorgeous. Again, look at the detail that you've got. Talk us around the different flowers we've got here.
Well, there's a lot going on here. It was just a showcase, really, as many flowers as I could. We've got the rose, which we do that in different sizes as well. The main bundle's got the larger one in it, but there is a set that's got the medium and the small. You've got the sweet peas in here. You've got the Daphne. The Daphne is part of the accessory set, as is the sweet pea. We've got some rose leaves in there as well, and we've also got the carnation in there. So there's a lot of different flowers in that one project there.
Amazing. Now, if you fancy creating beautiful pieces like the one that we've, well, all the ones we've been looking at, the One Day Special is perhaps the way to go. Perhaps you're just getting started and you've always admired these stars of flowers and wondered how they've been created. Well, we're going to be unearthing all of the mysteries during the next 24 hours. Now, 732-616, that's the all-important item number. £29.99 if you'd like to get hold of these. Now, of course, we've got the lovely Catherine here. She's going to enlighten us. If you've got any questions that you need to ask, that you do, just get in touch, studio@Hochanda.com. But check out on the website, you'll be able to find out all the bits and pieces that Catherine has brought to us. We've got 5-star reviews there on that small flower embellishment bundle. That sold out last time. Really affordable bundle at £10.49. And you can see there you've got the different sizes of the elements as well. You found the owls. You're having a go for the owls as well. We've got a little gingerbread house there as well. Rolling pins and some wonderful rolling pins that have got embossed details in there, so you get some lovely finishes with that. And you've got your hearty clay as well. We've got white, you've also got coloured on there as well. So you're going to be able to have loads of fun with these cutters when you do get them home. And don't forget, if you have been working with any of these cutters in the past, then do get in touch. We'd love to see what you've been creating. Now, Catherine, this is an area that I'm not going to lie, it terrifies me because I have to say, I did have a little go at something similar. We spoke about the sugar craft, and I couldn't do it. I was too hand-fisted.
Do you know what? We've demonstrated this at quite a lot of exhibitions now, and I do workshops as well. And I've met a lot of people that work with the sugar paste, the fondants, and they've had a go with the clay, and they say it's so much easier to work with than the fondant because it's much more forgiving. It doesn't dry as quickly. It doesn't crack because you're working with it. So it's very difficult when anyone's watching at home and they've not seen this clay before, but it is so soft, straight from the pack. It is so easy to work with. It's very, very therapeutic as well. And you just want to keep squeezing it and use it as a bit of a stress ball, but that will actually dry it out, so don't do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, right, so this is the White Hearty, which comes in a great big block, 200 grams, which will actually go a very long way. I'm going to just talk a little bit first about how to colour it. My favourite method is with food colouring. So that is a professional food colouring, as long as it's a gel type rather than a liquid. Yes. But I don't think you really get the liquid ones these days anyway. And it's as simple as just putting a little bit of colour, and I'm only going to use a tiny bit, into the clay. It's highly concentrated. So I think most people have already got some sort of food colouring at home. We all sort of make cakes for children and grandchildren and you know, just for fun, don't we?
It looks so pliable.
It's very, very pliable. Now, you may find that the clay itself, when you take it from the pack, is a little bit wet. If it is, and you find it a little bit too sticky, just sit it out into the air to dry. Now, the most asked question is, how long will it take to dry? And it's impossible for me to say exactly because it depends on the temperature in the room. So, you know, it doesn't take long before the air gets to the surface and it starts to dry it out a little bit. I'm just going to keep that white piece at the side of me. I'm going to start actually with the rose. Now, we have done this before on Hochanda, and, you know, I got so many messages from people afterwards saying how much they'd enjoyed the show, how they'd had a go and how they were enjoying the cutters, and that they did actually find it easy to do, even though they didn't think they'd be able to do it. It's a little bit like riding a bike. It's the same with everything. If you don't get on the bike and just pedal away, do you? You know, have a practice first. So make your first go about the technique rather than trying to be a perfectionist. So all I've done there is just roll out the clay. It's about 1 millimetre thick. If you want to go a little bit thicker for the first one, it won't hurt, but you don't want the clay too thick, otherwise the flower itself won't look very delicate when you finish with it. So we're going to take the cutter. This is the largest cutter. This is the easiest rose. And I'm just going to press down into the clay and lift straight up. And then if you go on a glass mat, which is the perfect surface, you can just peel away from around the edge. Just take that bit out there and leave in the rest of the piece of the clay on there. I'm just going to pick that up. Doesn't matter if I stretch it a little bit because we're going to change it. I'm going to sit it onto my firm foamer mat.
And we have got these as well. These are available.
These are very important, actually. It's a very dense foam. If you do sugarcraft, it is the same mat. These are what the sugar crafters use. And I'm going to use the ball tool. Now, there is the kit of the tools on the website as well, and I'm using the larger end of the ball tool.
Lovely.
And we're going to now...
5 of those tools with this little mat
You do.
well.
Right, now then. This is where we start the fun. So what I'm going to do, I'm holding the tool, it's about at a 45-degree angle, just above the mat, and I'm going to roll and press down onto the foam. And I'm just rolling over the edge of each petal. That is very important that you do that. Because this clay has just come from the pack and it's quite wet, I'm just going to pick up and turn the clay. Just because it can stick slightly. I'm just going to speed up as I go around because I'm doing exactly the same thing all the way around. Don't worry about this centrepiece, you don't need to do anything there. So can you see what's happening there? As I work around, it's giving a little bit of a frilly edge to it. And you can see how fine, if I pick that up, how fine that edge actually is.
Oh, wow, yeah.
There you go. The clay, as it dries, it gains strength. It gets stronger and stronger. And you can see as I just work around exactly the same way with each petal. You can go over more than once if you don't get it thin enough. But the most important thing I would say is make sure that ball tool, if I just slow down again there, goes right over the very edge onto this foam mat. The worst thing you can do is go on the inside of the petal like that.
Okay, yeah.
Can you see what happens? It starts to cup inwards. Rather than frilling out, it starts to cup. So you want that nice frilly edge. There is actually a flower on the show, the peony, where you would cup the petals, or to the centre of the flower you would cup it. So there are different techniques for different flowers. So we've now worked around the whole of that flower, and I'm going to make the rose. So I'm just going to turn it over and fold in half. And you're literally just folding it half along the length of it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you press down where the fold is, but try not to squash the petals together at the top. Leave those just loosely open. What you'll find is you've got a petal sticking out as a single petal at one end, and if I turn over, it's the same at the other end.
All right, yes.
I picked up a bit of green chalk that I was playing with earlier, but never mind. Right, I'm right-handed, so I tend to put the flower into my left hand and then roll with the right hand. And we're just going to start by rolling the very end of the rose. Now, once it starts to pick up the double layer, sit it down on your mat, and then continue just to guide that round. Try and ease it off a little bit as you roll around with the flower. Just ease it off a little bit. Just make sure those petals aren't sticking together.
Okay.
And when you get to the final petal, just stick down onto the clay. You don't need to use any water or glue. Just pressing that down will hold. So there from the top, you can see, I'm just going to open out those petals a little bit on the outer edge there. You can see we've got the flower.
Beautiful.
From the side and from the bottom, it's looking very chunky, so we're going to remove that now, and that's very easy to do. So I'm just going to get finger and thumb underneath the bottom of the petals. If you look from the side, you can just see the split in between the petals there. If you get finger and thumb with both hands there, and just to start with, squeeze very gently and turn. And the more that you squeeze, you're closing those gaps off. You can see the petals actually moving. It's as though it's coming out into bloom. And once you've gone so far, can you see where we've kind of got a neck to it now? You can just finish that off, use a pair of scissors or just break away the clay. And all that excess can be reused. And then you can just tweak the petals.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's
very,
like magic.
very easy. That's not my favourite way though. I'm going to show you another way now, which is my favourite. So you can see the size there. That is made from the largest rose. So even though it is from the larger cutter, it's not particularly big. Yeah. But you can change the size just by using the one cutter. So I'm just going to pop that to one side.
Okay.
Right, so we've got some of the clay left. I'm just going to mix in that little bit of green that was there, just so it's, because it's starting to annoy me now.
Now, just very quickly, while you're kneading that, whoops, those were disappeared. We've got a couple of different packs that we might mention to you. The white that you're working with, we've got a bumper pack here, 2 huge pieces here, as you can see. Comes to 400 grams of your white, so you can see the details on your screen there, £19.99. At 420315, you can get both of those within there. There's loads to get started, and it's really lightweight. So until you actually get these and realise it's amazing. And then we've got a coloured pack for you as well. So if you wanted to go for this one, which you've already found, you've got your purple, your green. Oh, actually, I've got black.
Yes,
as I said, that threw me then.
It is black, green, and the red there.
There you go. So perfect maybe for your roses. Can you actually change the colour of this by adding in the white?
You can, yes, so obviously the red and the white together will make pink. The green, that is a very dark green, so it's great for your holly leaves and things like that. But if you want a paler green, then just mix it with the white, and obviously the black would go grey. Yeah. So although I've used food colouring to colour the rose, if you want a true red or a very dark green or a true black, go for these, because you'll never be able to mix those from the white.
And it saves you time as well, even trying, doesn't it, by having them there. So if you want to go for all 3 of those, £11.99. As with any of our items, if you decide to go for multiples of those, then there's no additional post and packing with those. But if you fancy going for your white and then adding in your coloured bundle, it's just £1 extra post and packing to add that extra bundle in now. 315-217 if you want to get hold of those. You are loving these. I think we've got lots of people revisiting Catherine's shows. So that's good to know. Amongst good friends.
Oh, I'm sure we are. And I'd love to see, you know, photographs. So if people have been making these flowers from seeing the shows before, let us know how you're getting on and what you've made with them.
Wonderful.
Right, as you've just been talking there, Hayley, I've just rolled out the clay again. This is the same colours I worked with in the first place for the first rose. Now this is my 3-step rose, and this is my favourite way of doing it, and you'll see why when it's finished. I'm going to start just by cutting a section, because I don't want the whole piece.
Okay.
I actually only want 4 petals.
Oh.
So I tend to cut larger than I need and then just trim the piece that I want. So you'll always cut on the diagonal because every scallop is a petal and the petals are offset, because when you roll you want to make sure those petals work that way. That's how a rose works, doesn't it? The petals overlap each other, they're not in line. Now because the aircon in here is, I know it's been turned down, but it is very drying. I normally cut all my pieces and then use the tool, but I'm just going to work around the edge of these petals now and put this to one side. So it's exactly the same technique as I did before. If this piece is drying a little bit, once I've manipulated the petals, it's fine. It doesn't matter if it dries off a little bit. Now, top tip I can give you is, if your clay does get a little bit too dry and you're working with it, keep a water spritzer.
Okay, yes.
Because just squirt that into the clay, work it in, it will revive it. Okay. It's only once it's fully dry that you won't be able to pull.
And I've noticed you've popped some in a little plastic bag. Is that a good idea as well?
It is,
working on several colours at the same time.
I've got some sat here at the side. It would be better under a piece of wet kitchen towel or in a plastic bag, but I'm going to work with this almost straight away, so I'm just leaving that out for now. Right, we've got some more of the original colour, so I don't need it all. There's no point in wasting it, so I'm going to break a little piece off and then add some white to it. So it's about half and half. So very easy to mix together. So what we're actually getting, we're keeping the same colour, but we're getting a lighter shade of it. Now, just by stretching the clay, it will release the moisture in there, make it more sticky again for us. So again, if it's getting a little bit dry, just stretch it and knead it a little bit, and you may find that's enough just to bring the moisture back through. So again, roll out. I'm using a clear rolling pin. This is my polymer clay rolling pin. If you've got any Sugar Crafters rolling pin, they're normally white. They work perfectly. You don't have to have a clear one like I've got. You can pick up the white ones from the supermarkets and any sort of shop that does cake accessories. I'm going to cut another section, and this time I want 6 petals. We had 4 for the first one. This time I want 6. You can change these about. Once you get used to the method, you can change this to make different sizes. So again, just the same technique. I'm rolling right over that edge of the petal. Make sure you go onto the foam and stretch and manipulate those petals so you get that frilly edge. You'll notice now I'm really speeding up because I don't want to bore everybody at home doing the same thing.
It's not boring at all. I just mentioned the bundle that we've got at the bottom of the screen. Again, it's worth checking that out. £9.99. That's your equipment bundle. 176 at 940 if you wanted to get hold of that. I think that's where you're going to find that mat if you wanted to go for that.
The mat is very, very important. The tool as well, the ball tool. You may have the metal ones at home. They will work to a point, but I've found, I don't know what type of plastic this is, but it works perfectly. It doesn't stick. Okay. If you get those cheaper tools from some of the bargain shops, they're not made of the same sort of plastic and they're not as efficient. And you find they've got seams in them and they leave marks on the clay. Of course, that would do, so I've got to tell you, the bundle of tools actually is a very, very good buy anyway.
Well, I was just about to ask you about those. I've got those here, including the ball tool that we've just been talking about. That's included double-ended, so you've got large and small. You've got a variety of different kinds of little knife-looking
knife and scribe.
A knife and scribe, there you go. So that's that particular one. And then you've got this one with an angled head on there as well.
That's the boning tool. It works in a similar way to the ball tool.
Okay. And then the next one we've got here.
That one is, it's got a cone on one end, that's for making the centres of flowers. And again, you've got another small ball tool. So in total, you've got 3 different size ball tools. Wow. This one's a veining tool. That's very useful as well. So you can mark veins into things if you haven't got the impression mats, but also I use that, if you've seen me do the sugar button moulds with Katie Sue, I use those for putting the clay into the moulds as well. So they are sugar crafters tools, but they work in exactly the same way for the clay.
Now those ones, you can see £10.99 on your screen, 413826. So it's pretty important to have the right tools and the mat really, along with your one day special.
Exactly. Right, so I've lightened the clay down again. So what I used some of the original colour, well, some of the colour that I had spare from layer 2 and some more white into it. And it's exactly the same method. So this is going to make quite a large rose compared to the first one because I'm adding different amounts of petals to it. You can decide how big you want your flowers just by cutting into the pieces. Once you cut one shape out, whether you want to put 4 petals, 6 petals, 8 petals, or go with the full cutter, that's up to you. And you can join them in any way that you like. If you go for the medium and the small rose, they work in exactly the same way. There's no difference between the cutters other than the size of them. You can add them together so you get different size roses. But if you want them specifically for card making, I would say the smaller set would be very, very useful for you.
Okay, now we have got the details on the screen for your one-day special. Don't forget you are going to get your easiest rose in that bundle as well, but we have got the details down at the bottom. Is it exactly the same cutter down at the bottom, or is it a different size? So look at that, the prices that you've got there.
They're brilliant prices, I've got to say. They really are.
£19.99 for that one cutter, yet that is included within your one-day special. So you can see here, it's featuring at the top there, that's the exact same cutter that we've just seen Catherine working for. I would say if you're thinking of going for that one, and to be honest, that's the one that you look at and you think, oh my goodness, that is beautiful, all year round I'll be using that. But you are going to get 17 cutters for £29.99. So for spending that extra £10, you are getting so much more in that bundle. And of course, we will see Catherine showing us all of that during the course of the next 24 hours.
Okay, so we're going to move on to putting the whole flower together now. So start with the first layer with the 4 petals. Important that you fold in half lengthways first, which is a little bit difficult when you've got 4 because it's not a square, but you know what I mean. So make sure that a petal at one side falls in the gap at the other side. Okay, you can press the fold, but not press the petals. Now, if you're new to this and your clay is a little bit wet, it does actually help to have them sat there in the air a little bit because it will stop them being so sticky. So here we go again, just start to roll. As soon as you pick up the double layer, if you sit it on your mat so the bottom edge is level, it will keep your petals at a nice level as well. Right to the end, and then just press that final petal down. Now, you could make just a tiny flower just from that one piece, or a little bud. Yeah, the centre of a flower or a bud. So there we go with layer 1. We're going to pick up layer 2, fold again. If you fold it exactly in half, you'll always get that petal that overhangs, and that's your starting point. We're actually going to join together this time. So where you finished off, we're just going to join again, sit it straight on the mat, and then just guide it round. You don't want it to roll too tightly, otherwise your flower won't open up. Just guide it round.
Beautiful.
That would make a medium-sized rose. You can see what's happening now. Look at the depth of colour in the centre. But we're going to go with one more. And we're going to fold in half again. Again, we can just push that little bit down at the bottom where the fold is. And we're going to join again. And again, sit on the mat. Very important because it keeps everything nice and level. I'm not even tweaking these petals. I'm just literally rolling that around.
They've formed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So from the top, look at that. I'll just open out the outer petal a little bit. You can see again the depth of the colour. And now we can get rid of all that chunkiness at the bottom because we don't like to waste the clay either. So again, finger and thumb just under the bottom petals. Just squeeze, just pinch and turn. If you don't turn, you won't get a rose that's so even. You want to keep it moving.
You can see it opening up in front of our eyes.
You really can see it opening out. So we'll just work that around. These are perfect. Just the heads of the roses are perfect for sticking straight onto your projects. You don't have to have wires, you don't have to have the calyx unless you see the underside of them. And then if you want to just tweak anything, I tend to just pinch the outer petals a little bit or roll them out. But you can see how pretty that is.
That is beautiful. Absolutely incredible, mesmerising. Thank you, Catherine. And back with the original one there. Two different techniques already that we've learned. And we're only 25 minutes in, learning so much already. I'm loving it. Now, I'm going to let you get ready for your demonstration, and I'm going to share a fabulous picture with you because Lynn has been in touch. Hi, Lynn. It's good to hear from you. And look at this. She's been so busy. This is lovely. I love this. Oh, a commemorative piece. Now, this is gorgeous. Now, Teresa, thank you for that photo. Teresa, again, thank you so much for your photo. This is beautiful. Lynn was the original picture that we looked at. Teresa sent this one in as well. And look at that, blue roses. You don't come across blue roses very often, do you? But you can create your own if you wanted to. And then the next one that we've got for you, this is Sylvia's work. And this is lovely, going onto a canvas. What a wonderful idea. I love it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, ladies, for all of those. Now, very quickly, I'm going to show you the one-day special again. Now, if you are tuning in because you've heard about the competition that FMM Funcraft have been running through Facebook, we will be announcing the winner in just a few moments. And I'm going to head over and join Catherine before we do that announcement. So stay tuned. We'll be getting to that in just a few moments. But before we do that, I've got to show you the one-day special. You are loving this. 17 cutters you have got in here and 4 of your veining mats as well. We've already seen that incredible rose in action, as you can see here. Beautiful. Now, of course, the key thing is when you actually take those elements and put them together, start off with the poinsettia. Let's start off with this gorgeous piece here. And this is wonderful. You can see the poinsettia here at the end. Using that wonderful air drying clay, you are going to be able to create the most amazing pieces. Down at the bottom, we have got the MDF piece, the Noel standing sentiment, as you can see. So if you do want to go for your piece to add your letters to, add your flowers to, should I say, then you can do. We've got another one that says home as well, so check that one out on the website. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? You see the roses that we've just been learning how to create on here, and the little tiny filler flowers as well that Catherine was talking about. Gorgeous ivies as well, those are included within your one-day special as well. Don't forget to add in your coloured clay as well, because of course it's going to help you build those colours up for your different elements when you're putting them together. So that's just one example of what you can create. But look at this, behind us we have got some of the most incredible pieces as well, as you can see there. Isn't that beautiful? Taking those flowers and adding them to your frames. The little owls as well, you found the owls on the website as well, so you can add so much with those as well. Now, other bits and pieces that you might want to create, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? This one, again, you've got those roses featuring, again, changing the colours as you so choose. Especially you go for that white clay, because you've got a huge bundle with the white clay, 2 large pieces, 400 grams in total, so you can add your food colouring and create whatever colours you like. But look at those beautiful roses, again, featuring here. Got another piece that I'd love to show you as well. Just simply taking one of those roses and adding it, well, actually 2, 3 little tiny ones as well, adding them to a card. This is perfect. If you have got maybe a family wedding, or maybe somebody is having a special birthday and you want to create something that they're going to keep, something that they're going to treasure, perhaps something that they're going to pop into a little a frame, one of those box frames would be perfect. You can create a piece, a keepsake for them to keep for many, many years to come. And you can see how beautiful this is and all that depth and dimension you've got from those gorgeous roses. And we've got another Christmas plaque alongside our one-day special. I'm going to bring this one in as well, just to show you. Look at this. Oh, they're gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see again the ivy leaves forming in here as well and adding in those flowers. They just look so real, don't they? Now, if you like having real flowers around your home, but you don't like the thought of actually cutting flowers and bringing them into the house, then what better way to actually make your own, as you can see here. Now, 732616 is going to allow you to create your gorgeous roses. You're going to be able to add your fabulous ivy leaves and so much more with these. And this really is a fabulous kit to get started with. £29.99 if you want to go for it. 432616 is the item number. Now, we've got other bits and pieces to share with you as well. So maybe you fancy having a look at this one. This one is your easy rose. Now, we have touched on roses within your one-day special, but with this, you've got additional bits and pieces to give you that sense of realism with these. So you can see you've got your rose leaf cutters, you've got your rose calyx, and I think that's how you pronounce it, and I apologise if it's not right, and then you've got your veining mat as well. All of these add to the realism of your flowers. Again, you can see there, FMM Fun Craft. This is a brilliant range for you to try out a new craft perhaps. Just don't forget to add in that all-important clay to your bundle. 285092. And again, you've got everything that you need there. We've got another beautiful rose here featuring, and again, with those special leaves dedicated to the rose bundle, this is the kind of result that you can get. We've got some incredible finished samples around us in the studio here. These are beautiful. And you could be creating these. You could be taking these with very affordable frames that you may have picked up. Maybe you've picked up some of those MDF pieces as well that Catherine's brought to us. And then you can demonstrate these even on your craft store, but then sell them. And you'll probably find the same amount of time you've taken for a card that you would have taken for one of these craft projects, but you tend to find that they draw the crowds in and also maybe increase the prices that you can charge. Now look at these roses. They are beautiful that you can be working with. If you're wanting to go for any of these kits, then you can do. 285092. That's the item number for you to get hold of these. Now, how about some peonies? I love peonies. Beautiful large blooms that you've got with peonies as well. And this is our next set that we're going to be talking to you. You've got your carnation in with this one as well. Another favourite as well. And look down at the bottom here, a lovely range of different cutters to help you. So you can see there your peony, lovely. I love peonies because they've got large blooms and they're what I call a good value for money flower because they last and last and last. Carnations, again, you get those in a multitude of colour. And again, the cutters are going to help you create those beautiful pieces to create those gorgeous projects. Now this one here, we've got a little Christmas plaque again, Happy Christmas, but featuring those little carnations again in there. And again, taking that white base, adding your food colouring and getting these kind of results means you can get the most realistic faux flowers as you could possibly get. 388984 if you're wanting to get hold of this, £19.49 if you're wanting to go for them. Absolutely beautiful, love it. Now, how do you fancy making a little gingerbread house? I love this. This is so clever. You can make this into whatever you want it to be, really. Now, have a look here. We've got a little gingerbread house down at the bottom here, next to the pack itself, with all the different elements to make your gingerbread house. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Absolutely gorgeous, and you can see it featuring on the packaging there. So if you do fancy making gingerbread house, not only have you got the elements to create your walls and your roof and everything, you've even got your little mats here to enable you to get the texture on the walls and also on the roof as well. Isn't that fabulous? Create different styles of houses as well if you wanted to, so you can make little bird houses with these if you wanted to. And we've got some wonderful examples again. And then you've got your little tiny Christmas trees as well. So if you are wanting to work with these, then you can do. This is a brilliant kit to get started. I love it. Let's have a look at these ones at the back here as well. And I'm going to lift one of these up as well, very, very carefully, because I know it has been secured down so as I don't fall, knock it over, because I have a tendency for that to happen. But look at this. Again, little tiny roses featuring on this. You can see the texture that you've got on not only just the roof there with the roof tiles, but also that almost wood effect, as you can see, and your little owls as well, which I know you found on the website. So that's a lovely kit for you to get hold of. So something that you could be doing with that wonderful kit that if you've invested in that particular one. And then another variation as well. Look at this one. Sweet little candy houses you've got. It's so sweet. These are absolutely adorable. Little fairy house. Look at all these beautiful flowers around. Aren't they gorgeous? Again, the texture that you've got, the shimmer, the shine. And you're going to be able to create these. Now, I want to head down and see what Catherine's up to. I can see that she's busy prepping there, so I think it's time we headed down in that direction. Now, if you want to get hold of this particular set, 759300, £15.99. Now, something else that we've got that you might like to add into your basket is the unicorn bundle, and this is brilliant. So, so cute. This is a little cutter, as you can see. You've also got your little roller pin there as well. This is going to apply stars to your, well, it's not going to apply, it's going to emboss stars, should I say, to your clay when you're working with it. 367497 at £10.79 Freedom members. That's a good value for good value for money bundle. I know what I'm trying to say, it just won't come out. And then if you fancy going for the owls and the penguins, then this is perfect. This is your Funcraft novelty set, as you can see, £15.99, 465769. Now, we have been very busy for the embellishment sets. I'm going to show you exactly what you get in there. And you're loving this. You've got your sweet pea in here, you've got your blossoms, as you can see, your primrose and your daphne as well. Lots of different flowers you can be creating with these fabulous cutters. 277415, £10.49. Brilliant value bundles we've got, Catherine.
They're amazing value.
Really good,
absolutely fantastic value. Right, okay, I have been prepping because there's lots of petals in this one. We're going to do the poinsettia. Okay. Now, you do get 7 different cutters, starting from the smallest one right through to the larger one, which again is brilliant for your leaves if you want to colour the clay green.
Okay.
I'm going to work with the white clay again, but you could go for the red and do a nice bright red poinsettia, but I'm going to add some colour in a different way with this one.
Okay, nice idea.
Okay, now there are instructions, it's important to say there are instructions on the back of the packets. You don't have to stick to that rigidly. You can create what you want if you want to change size, the different petals that you put in there, that's entirely up to you. One of the things with the poinsettia that it will talk you through on the back of the packet is to wire each petal. Okay. So if you're a professional sugarcraft artist, you will see that they wire every single petal and make the flowers very rigid and beautiful because you can bend the wires. It's the same with the clay. You can wire each individual petal. And with the hearty clay, you can actually bend the wires and not break the clay once the clay is dry. Okay. So you get lots of movement. But because I know we're likely to have a lot of new people watching, and I don't like to jump in with anything that's too difficult, we're going to go with the very standard way without any wires at all.
Well, I, as a complete novice, appreciate that. So thank
you. So I've rolled out again, just about 1 millimetre to 2 millimetres thick. This is number 7. Now, if you look on the base, it's hard to see on the camera, but on the base, it will tell you what number petal cutter you've got. But as a rule, it starts with the smallest number 1 right through to the largest at number 7. So I'm just going to cut 5 of these. If you roll your clay onto the glass mat and you just press the clay down a little bit, usually what you find is when you lift the clay up, it leaves the petal stuck down onto the mat, which is great. If it doesn't, you should just be able to pull it out quite easily, as long as you've cut through it properly. So we've got 3, we'll just do another couple of these. I'm not doing the leaves, but they're done in exactly the same way. So, you know, I'm showing you how to do the petals, so the leaves you can create just in the different colour clay.
Lovely.
Okay, so we've got 5. Now, on the back of the pack, it will give you a sequence for the petals. I'm changing this slightly just because I can.
Well, ironically, we've had an email in from Janice. So, Janice, you must have had a premonition there, because you were asking about the instructions and whether the packs do come with instructions.
They do.
Catherine's just said there is instructions there, but if you find your own way as well, there's no hard and fast rules really.
There isn't, no. There really isn't. Right, I'm going to use some of the veining mats because they have got that lovely embossed texture to them, so you can put that vein defect into the petals. So although that's, I believe that's an oak leaf, I'm just going to put that over the petal and I'm just going to press it. You could use your rolling pin, but actually just pressing in with fingertips should be enough. So I don't know if we can pick that up, but you've just got that.
Let me just see if I can tilt it. There we go.
Okay, so you've got that lovely texture. So I'm just going to do all 5 of the larger ones.
Wonderful. Now, while Catherine's doing that, I've just been handed the gorgeous poinsettia that's been created with the red air clay, because don't forget, we have got coloured air clay for you as well. So if you do want to go for the hearty clay in the colours, we can help you with that as well. Details are down at the bottom of your screen, as you can see. Now, the pack that this one will have come from is including your red. So you can see here you've got your red. Isn't that beautiful? We've got green feature in there as well. Well, lo and behold, in the pack we've got green too. And of course you can change the tone of these by adding in white, as Catherine said earlier on, and you have got your black as well. Team this up with your white and you've pretty much got everything that you need really to create some of the most incredible pieces. Now if you want to go for your coloured bundle, so your hearty coloured bundle is £11.99, 315217. This is what you're going to get within this particular one, so all three of those. Really good sizes as well. Each one of those is 50 grams in weight. And don't forget, it's very, very light, so you're getting a lot in there.
Very light.
And then the other one that we've got is a bumper bundle with your white. And this particular one, if you wanted to go for, you've got 400 grams. This is the one that we're seeing Catherine working with, 420315, £19.99. And of course, having the right equipment, the right tools for you to actually create these is going to help you so much. So if you're wanting to go for this, you can see you've got your foam mat. You've also got your dabber dust, which we'll have a chat about, I'm sure, as the day progresses. But so you can see how that foam mat is really important to get the right formation of your petals and your leaves. 176 for £942, £9.99. And that's the thing. If you think to yourself, oh, well, I'm going to go for the one-day special, and I'm going to see if I can find some clay. I've got some knocking around that I bought the kids were using a few years ago, and things like this. You don't get the results, and you think it's because you're doing something wrong.
That's
and it's
right.
not, is it? It can be down to the tools.
Yes. This clay is a professional grade modelling clay. It's great value for money because you do get a lot, and you can see how far it goes when you're only using thin petals. And with the roses, for instance, once you take away that bulk, you've used hardly any clay, so you're going to get dozens and dozens of flowers from one pack. But yes, that is true. If you go for a different brand clay that's not the right sort of modelling clay, you're not going to get the same results.
And if it's an area you know nothing about like me, you need as much help as you can get. So the fact that you've got everything sorted out for you means you can sit back and relax. Let the experts take care of getting that kit together for you, and then you can sit back and kind of take the glory for the results, because that's the input that you'll be adding into it.
That's right. Okay, so I've done more petals than I need, I think, there, but never mind, we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to quickly finish veining, and I'll tell you what I've actually cut, which size cutters, but again, you can change it around a little bit. And if you're wanting to do something maybe for a card rather than a home decor piece, and you want a smaller flower, then just stick to the smaller cutters and don't make such a large flower.
And how much pressure are you applying at this stage with these pieces?
I'm just pressing lightly, to be honest. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on at all. So that is very flexible as well. And if you put the clay onto your mat, it's got that give in it. It just allows the right amount of pressure. So we've just got 3 little tiny bits for the front for the last layer. These small pieces were cutter number 1, and I've cut 3 of those. Cutter number 2, I cut 3. Cutter number 3, I've cut 5. Number 3 was that size, and I've cut 5 of those. Cutter number 4, I've actually cut 5, but I probably only need 3 of them, so I don't think I'm going to use all those.
Okay.
Now, I've gone a little bit off what it says on the packet, because I've also then used petal number 5 and 7. I've not gone with petal number 6 at all.
Okay.
So you could get away with losing the largest one as well if you wanted a smaller flower. So just play about with these. It's very easy to find what you think is going to work for you on your project.
Okay.
Right, now, because this is a white poinsettia, I don't know how to go with the green or the gold here. I'm going to go with this gold one.
Lovely.
These are just chalks. These are just artist chalks.
All right.
And I'm just going to use a craft knife just to scratch the surface, just to pick up some powder. So you can actually use the petal dust as well. If you've got the cake decorating dust, you know, the petal dust that all the cake decorators use, you can use those. But this is just an acrylic chalk, a pastel. You can pick them up quite cheaply from the art shops, or sometimes from these bargain shops as well.
All right. Keep your eyes peeled
Use
for those.
things like mica powders, eyeshadow, anything that's a powder you could actually use. So I'm just going to dust on, and this is only going to be very subtle, but I'm just dusting on a little bit of colour at the bottom of each petal. If the clay is very wet, I can see where there's a darker colour there. It's probably because the clay's got a wet spot in it. But that doesn't matter, it'll all come together. It doesn't matter if you've got some bits that look darker than others. You could go around the edge of the petals as well if you wanted to, just to go around the tips. but I am a bit of a glitter girl, so when my white poinsettias are dry, I usually glitter them up.
So any colour that you apply needs to be a dry colour, so could you be using things like your chalks, your pastels?
You can, any chalk, any craft chalks that you've got, your pastels, brilliant. You can paint on as well. You could use a wet brush with the food colouring, but you're adding more moisture to the clay. And actually the bigger flowers that you make tend to be better if they've dried a little bit once you cut the petals out, when you put them together. So this is going to make quite a large poinsettia.
Now, Catherine, I can't believe we're down to the last 13 minutes of the hour.
No way.
Where's that time gone?
I have absolutely no idea.
I think we sprung a leak somewhere and someone's been running away.
We'll be okay for this flower, that's for sure, though.
That's good.
So it's going to come together quickly now. Once you've got all the petals cut and all the veining done, putting together is very, very quick. I've got a little bit of green on this brush, which I quite like because it's giving a different tone to it. So I'm just rushing through this, but there's no special clever techniques about this. It's just brushing a little bit of powder on. And again, I'm just going to push together the petals here. Now, because the clay has still got moisture in it, you don't need any glue. And this is much easier than wiring the petals, but if you want it to be really professional, so maybe start this way and then work your way up to be more professional and wiring each petal.
So groups of 5 we're seeing these.
Okay, so number 4, we're just going to do 3 of number 4.
Okay.
I'll get a little bit darker as we go into the centre. So again, very easy just to put together. I'm putting all the layers to the side. Now, another good tip, and I have got one in my van outside in the car park, and I forgot to bring it in. Have you seen those sort of eggshell foam mats that you get? Again, the sugar crafters use them to rest their flowers on to dry, and it gives the kind of an eggshell box shape, not an eggshell, an egg box shape, you know, with the, sort of the little dells.
Is it like the ones that you put in the fridge that look after your eggs rather than an actual cardboard egg box?
No, a cardboard egg box would work, but you can get foam ones that the sugar crafters use for, it's for forming their flowers, so as they dry, it gives the petals movement. If you've got one of those, they're great for the clay. If not, you could use an egg box.
Okay.
We're not going to use anything because I haven't brought my mat in, and you can get away without it, but it just help when you're trying to give shape to something.
Now, don't forget what Catherine's creating here is a beautiful poinsettia. The poinsettia forms part of your one-day special, and you've also got your roses included with this one as well. And you can see here, this is a finished example, just as Catherine's putting those petals together, just to show you that when you've actually created one, how realistic they look. Oh, got a little bit there. Let's put that away there. You've got a gorgeous ivy leaf. Again, that is included, so you can see the wire's been attached, as Catherine's been talking about. Your little tiny flowers coming through here. And then up at the top of the letter O, we have got your little roses featuring as well. And again, those are featuring within your one-day special. The Noel, the MDF frame that you can see here, we have got that available on the website. We've got some Happy Christmas, and I think, have we got Home as well, or is it just the Christmas-themed ones we've got?
Home we've had on the website before, so I think it probably is still there.
There might be some stock on there. Yeah. Lovely. We've got the details of the Happy Christmas and Noel. They come together. £17.99 if you want to get hold of those. But of course, the flowers created with your one-day special. Still time to get hold of your one-day special. We've only got about 10 minutes left in the show now. Well, I'll pass that over.
Right, OK, so I've just put together, that was number 2, and the tiny one's number 1. So we'll just pop those to one side, we don't need those. So we're going to build the flower together now. So I'm going to take the largest layer first. So if it had been in one of those forming mats, it would kind of cup it, so your petals would have more movement. But you can actually, as the clay starts to dry, manipulate it yourself. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just going to overlay, get the centres in the right place. Now this is going to be quite a big flower.
Beautiful.
But you'll see how it all comes together. So again, don't line your petals up, make sure they're overlapping each other. Okay, now this is my favourite bit at the end, because you get the ball tool, and because these have been drying out, put your ball tool in the centre and press down.
Oh, look!
And you can see it all move, and then you can just manipulate those petals. So tweak them a little bit and bend them over just to give it more movement. Another tip is, if you've got some tin foil, make a ring, just scrunch it up.
Yes.
So you've got a nice tight scrunched piece of tin foil, so it's firm. And you could put a ring of foil underneath some of the inner petals. So I would run under there. If I just put that ball tool so you can see, if you do a ring of foil, it will help support them, and it just dries with more movement. While ever there's water in this clay, moisture in there, which there is quite a lot, even though it feels as though it's drying well, there's still a lot of moisture in there. So, you know, you want to give these petals movement. So I'm just tweaking these. So if you sat that into some sort of foaming cup or an egg box or something like that, it would hold its shape.
I mean, it was incredible seeing it. I've watched you do it, but I still can't believe I've seen it created before my eyes.
So I will continue to tweak that after the show just to make sure that that lifts up. But for the centre, I think we've just got time to do the centre.
Lovely.
Again, if you were wiring these, you could make little cones and wire the centres together. But actually, all we need is some little balls of clay for the centre. And I've got somewhere behind me, I think, some gold gilding wax. So if you stuck to just using the white clay, I would normally add that once these are dry.
Okay.
But a little bit of gold gilding wax into the centre would really, really finish this off.
Now, if you want to get hold of your white clay, I've just brought the details up at the bottom of the screen. Your Hearty Soft Twin Pack, 2 packs of 200 grams each of those, so 400 in total. Brilliant price, £19.99. Look at these, they're huge. And you've seen you hardly need anything when you're working with these flowers, so you can see a little is really going to go a long way. Now if you want to add colour, then we can help you with colour as well, because we have got some colour packs as well. So it's £19.99 for these two, 420315. But if you do want to go for your coloured pack with your red, your green and your black, let me very quickly show you those. These are going to come to you for £11.99, and again you're going to get all 3 of these come to you. So if you don't want to add the intensity of colour, if you want your pale colours, then we've seen using your food colouring is going to be perfect. But if you want more of a brighter red, maybe more of a deeper green, or maybe you want to add a black, then you can do. You can dilute these colours down, as Catherine said, using your white if you're wanting to. So it might be nice to add both of them into your basket at the same time. 315217 if you're wanting to get hold of the coloured one there. How's this coming together?
So, obviously, as I say, this is still wet, and I would add the gilding wax when it's dry, not wet, but I'm just dotting a little bit in the centre, just so you can see where those little balls are in the middle there. So, the more that dries, the better that's going to look. And of course, at this
stage, those petals are very, very pliable, so you can see as Catherine's holding them, they are still moving, but of course, as you said, support them, let them dry, and then you've got the gorgeous movement within them. That is beautiful, Catherine.
Okay, hopefully we can put that on a project tomorrow. We'll see that dry.
Lovely.
The clay, I've got to say, when it dries, it shrinks very slightly. It doesn't change shape, you won't lose any detail, but it shrinks slightly, so it actually improves the look as the petals shrink, because they tend to curl a little bit more as well.
I love it, thank you. I love it. Now, of course, Catherine's been working with the tools which do make the difference when you are working with your clay in your one-day special. So this set of 5 is a brilliant addition to your basket. £10.99, as you can see there on your screen. 413826 if you wanted to get hold of those. Double-ended, so you've actually got 10 different tools in there. And as you saw with Catherine using those alongside the foam former pad, then you get all those wonderful results. Where did that word come from? You can say it's the end of the day. 176942 if you wanted to get hold of these. Now we've got the dab and dust there. The dab and dust. Can you briefly explain to us what the dab and dust is?
Again, we can use these with card makers, because the dab and dust is actually a little bag. You've got a screw top on there. You pop corn flour in it. So if you need corn flour, sometimes I do use it on some of the cutters. It just gives you the right amount of dust. But if you're a card maker and you stamp, they also work as an anti-static.
Perfect. There you go.
Well.
So yeah, all crafters need these. Then 176942, £9.99. Now, of course, those MDF bases are the perfect way for you to add and decorate with those beautiful flowers on top of. So you've got your Happy Christmas and your Noel here. Both of those for £17.99. 791493 if you fancy getting hold of those. And if you fancy going for the embellishment pack, this is a perfect accompaniment as well. It means that you're going to be able to take your kits just that little bit further. You're going to be able to add in things like your sweet peas, your blossoms, your primroses and your daffodils. daphne, and those little tiny filler flowers really do add to the design, don't they? Gorgeous. At 277,415 if you want to go for those, and £10.49. Definitely worth adding those in. Now, if you fancy going for the novelty bundle, this is where you can add your fabulous little characters. So you've got your mummy and baby penguin and mummy and baby owl, or they could be daddies and babies. They could be mummies and daddies. They could be whatever you want them to be, really. Now, 465,769, £15.99. I was trying to be politically correct there, but I could have gone through the entire family, couldn't I, really, doing that? So, yeah, if you fancy getting hold of those, pop those into your basket. And you can see there at the top, you've got all the little bobble hats and everything to work alongside them, so you can have loads of fun with those. But, of course, we started and we're going to finish with the one-day special. Brilliant bundle that we launched about an hour ago. And I think it's time we announce that winner, don't you, Catherine?
I think it is.
We did. So if you took part in the Facebook competition that FMM Funcraft put out, it's just a few days ago, really, wasn't it?
It is, yeah.
Everybody was voting, everybody's putting their little comments. And if your name is Lindsay and your surname is Fur, then guess what, you're a winner. You won. Thank you. There we go. You can see on the detail.
Lindsay.
Well done. You got a huge bundle on its way to you. So well done, and thank you for taking a part in that as well. It's nice when everybody gets involved.
It certainly is. I think somebody's whooping at home now.
Definitely dancing around the living room, I should imagine. Now, if you weren't fortunate enough, then you can still be dancing around the living room when you get hold of your one-day special, because it's a brilliant bundle for you to get started with, and to perhaps extend other things that you might already have in your kit.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just home decor, it's your card making as well. So, you know, have fun with them.
And definitely can do. They are so realistic. Now, you're getting 17 cutters, you're getting your 4 veining mats, as you can see there, so you can add that realism to those petals, as well as the leaves. We saw them being used on the petals as a poinsettia. You've got 7 different petals there for the poinsettias. That's where you get that realism. And, of course, you have got that fabulous, easiest rose ever cut in there, where it's creating those fabulous petals. And with those techniques that Catherine's been kind enough to share with us, you can get these kind of results. You can see where those little tiny flowers come in useful there. Those are the little daphnes, aren't they, I think, from the embellishment kits.
You've got the blossoms.
So maybe add that in at the same time. 732616. Of course, you can be using it for projects, and I'm going to bring this one back in the MDF book, because this is beautiful. Work of art.
If I just point this one, that's the Daphne, that's also from the accessory set. So you've got the sweet pea, you've got the Daphne, you've got the blossom, which isn't actually on there, and we've also got the primrose, which isn't on there either, but the primrose again is a lovely
and
little
this one
flower.
Here is your carnation.
That's the carnation.
There you go. So check them all out on the website. Now, of course, Catherine is with us for the next 24 hours. We are going to let her out the building every so often, but she's going to be back with Charlie at 8 o'clock. So I'd love for you to join them as well. More demonstrations showing other areas within the one-day special, I'm guessing, and adding to the beautiful flowers that have already created. So they're going to go on to projects as time goes on. Catherine, thank you.
You're
welcome. So
welcome.
much in this hour. It's been a pleasure to work with you.
It's flown.
It has gone quick, hasn't it? And I'll be back with you at 9 o'clock in the morning, which I shall be looking forward to. You don't have to wait that long. Just make sure you come back at 8 o'clock and join Catherine and Charlie, and you'll be able to create some incredible pieces with your one-day special. Please continue to place your order for it, though. Then that way you can sit back and relax and know that yours is on its way to you. Now, I've got another incredible hour coming up after this break. It's a bit of fun with Charlie. And we've got a fabulous hour coming up with artwork from Iron Gut Publishing, some really funny pieces in there. Then, of course, Catherine's going to be back with the FMM one-day special, and then we'll be going over to our recorded hours with Tonic.
Hello, I'm Phil Martin. I'm a member of the Creative Expressions team. Sentimentally Yours is my brand of photopolymer and rubber stamps, and I also have my paper pads and Cosmic Shimmer products that coordinate perfectly. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all on Hochanda, so please join me for my shows where I can share some of my hints and tips with you.
Hi, I'm Sue.
And I'm Doreen. I named the company after my two daughters, Katie and Sue.
So we're a family business, Katie Sue Designs, based in the northeast of England, and we've been in business for almost 25 years now together. We started with miniature dolls and we moved through to paper crafting with Flower Soft, and then into silicone molds, which we make here ourselves. And they're award winning and we sell them to around 40 countries in the world. We're really looking forward to coming to Hochanda and showing you all a wide range of our products, everything from paper crafting to cake decorating, mixed media. So I hope you can join us and Noreen showing you all of the different crafting techniques.
Hi there, I'm Noreen, demonstrator for Katie Sue Designs. I really can't wait to be able to show you all of the molds and all of the exciting things that I'm going to bring to you. Make sure you don't miss the Katie Sue shows on Hochanda.